Hello, students. Yesterday we had discussed about the different kind of changes in which we had discussed about the physical and the chemical changes as well as the reversible and irreversible changes. In the irreversible and irreversible changes, we had discussed that how some of the changes are there which are reversible in nature, means which get reversed into its original condition, like that of the stretching of the rubber or the cutting or the folding of the paper. So these all are the examples of the reversible changes. We had also discussed about some of the changes, uh, like uh, uh, like that of the melting of the ice or the evaporation or the condensation, as well as uh, expansion. All these things comes in the reversible changes. Later on we discuss about the irreversible changes also. In the irreversible changes, we had discussed about that there are some changes which do not get back to its original condition, like that of the burning of paper or cooking of food or burning of a candle. So you see that these all are the irreversible changes. Okay, now see here, in this one we had also discussed about the physical and the chemical changes. So when we talk about the physical changes, it means basically it depends upon the changes in the physical properties of the substances. It means there is no new substances formed in that no new substances formed. Okay, when we talk about the chemical changes, it means that a new substance is formed. Okay, so the changes in which the new substances with different properties are formed, that are the chemical changes, like that of the burning of the candle. So you see, the burning, when we burn a candle, uh, what happened, you see that the carbon dioxide and that of the water vapor, it starts coming out from it, and that carbon dioxide is a new substance. Actually, this burning of wax or burning of the candle is both. It shows the physical as well as that of the chemical changes. How? Burning of a wax is often cited as an example of a physical change, because you see that when the wax melt, after melting of the wax, that solidified on cooling, and again we can use that wax for making the candle. But when you burn a candle, then what happened? The gases a gas evolved from it, and that gas is actually carbon dioxide gas, which is a uh, which is a new substance formed by that change. So burning of candle shows both physical change as well as chemical change. Now we will come to the next topic, and that is the periodic changes. Okay, so when we talk about the periodic change, it means the changes that occur after a certain period of a time or after a certain interval of a time, or which occur again and again after a regular interval of a time. Okay, so we can you can see here that the changes which repeat itself, okay, that repeat itself at a certain period of a time, that defines the periodic motion. So you see that day and night, so at day come, then finally night, and again day and again night. So you see that this day and night, it always occur at a regular interval of a time, at a period of a time. So this kind of a change is a periodic change. Or you see the beating of the heart, a heart beat at a regular interval of a time. Phases of the moon, so you see a moon, it changes its phase from the full moon to that of the new moon, and again it will goes to that of the full moon. So you see that it start changing its phases at a different interval of a time. So it is also an example of a periodic change. if you see that of the second or that of the hand of the watch, okay, like it may be a second or minute or hour hand. So after a period of a time, again that will come to the position from where it started. Okay, so these kind of a changes which repeated itself at a certain interval of a time is a periodic change. Basically, when we talk about the periodic table, most of the changes that is involved in the periodic changes is that of the circular. It is in a circular motion. Okay, because in a circular motion, an object started from a position again come back to the same position. Okay, so these kind of changes are known as a periodic changes. Now, if we go to the second one, that is the non-periodic changes. Non-periodic changes is very much similar to that of the it's just opposite to that of the periodic changes. So, in periodic changes is a change in which the changes occur at a regular interval of a time, and when we say that the changes will occur not at a regular interval of a time, that defines the non-periodic changes. It do not occur at a certain period of a time. For example, volcanic eruption. So you see the volcanic eruption, it never occur after we are not aware that when it will be happen. Like that of the earthquake also, it can occur anytime when the tectonic plates collide with each other. Okay, or the forest fire, so there is no fixed interval of a time that after which it will show that change. Okay, so these kind of a changes is actually a kind of a non-periodic change which do not repeat itself at a period of a time. So, whenever we are talking about the changes, we have also discussed that how the changes are important to us. So, there are some changes we say it is very important, but there are some changes which is we say is not important or it is harmful for us. So, we will discuss about the changes which are beneficial, and there are some changes which are harmful. Like when we talk about the beneficial changes, these are the changes which take place faster, but the harmful changes, it either stopped or made to go slow. Like that of the ripening of the fruit is what? It is a beneficial to us. Okay, this is a change which is very good for us. Okay, or growth of a fruit, growth of a tree is also a beneficial to us. On the other hand, if you see that if a food gets spoiled, okay, so if a food gets spoiled or if that of the fruit it gets spoiled, then you see that that kind of a change is not good for us, it is not beneficial for us. You can take an example of a lot of things like the changes that is occurring in the nature. Okay, so you see that of the natural calamities like that of the volcano eruption or that of the earthquake or flood or this forest fire, so all these things are not good for us. Okay, so they are not beneficial for us, so they are harmful for us. Now, when we talk about the changes which is beneficial or harmful to us, you see the changes that occur in the environment or the changes which occur, these changes they do not occur on its own. There is some cause behind it. Okay, so there is some cause which brings the change in the material, change in condition, change in its state, change in its shape. Okay, and there can be a different cause for the different change in the material. So we will see the first cause or we will see one of the cause of that, and that is the heat. So you see that heat is also help in causing the change in the state of a material. Like what? Like in the that of the solid to liquid. So if you see that if a ice is there, so just because of the ice, just because of the heat, the ice get converted into liquid. Or when we provide heat to that of the liquid substance, then the liquid substance get converted into the water vapor. So you see, just because of this temperatures, but just because of this heat which we are providing to that particular substance, help in changing its state of that material. Okay, some of the other changes are also in the material, which is done by applying heat or light, electricity, or that of the pores. So when we talk about the heat, you see that there are some of the material which show expansion and which shows contraction. Expansion as well as contraction. So you see, this expansion and contraction is due to the heat. How? Some material they expand on heating and some of them they contract on cooling. So by increasing the temperature, the material expand, and by decreasing the temperature, the material cool down. Like heating, what happens when we provide heat? This heating makes the particles to expand, okay, or become loose, okay, while that of the cooling, it makes the particle contract or become tight. So cooling help in expansion. How it get expanded? As it become loose, then they start moving from each other, so they get expanded, and cooling the particles, they start moving towards each other, so they start contracting. Okay, so there are a different expansion that differ in the solid, in case of the liquid, or in case of the gases. So when we talk about the liquid and the solid and that of the gases, you see the gases, they expand the most, okay, while the solid expand the least. Okay, so gases, since the particles of the gases are far away from each other, so as you provide heat to it, they start moving away from each other, and due to which we can say the gases, they expand the most, while that of the solid, they expand the least. Now see here, lot of examples are there, like in case of expansion in gases. So if you inflate a balloon means when you provide air, or when you give air to that of the balloon, then what happen in the sun? In the sun, then what will happen? That balloon will grow in size. Why is it so? Because the air inside it expand on taking heat from that of the surrounding. Okay, so due to which there is a expansion. If you see in case of a liquid, the liquid also expands on heating. So you can see, if you take a glass which is filled with water and pour the water into the container and heat it, now you do not boil it, but when you try to pour that water back into the same glass, the water, it overflows. It is because when you provide the heat to it, the water they expand, and due to which when you pour the same glass of a water to the another glass, the water, since it get expanded, so it overflows. Not only this, if you see in case of expansion in solid, there are a lot more examples in case of expansion of solid which we'll discuss later, like that of a railway track in which the two the parallel metal rails, they are joined together. Okay, but while joining these two parallel tracks, they always leave a small gap between them, and that small gap is also called as expansion gaps. Expansion gaps. Okay, and these gaps are left deliberately. Why is it so? Because as the due to the summer season or in the hot weather, there is an expansion of the rail also. Okay, so if suppose they are jointed together without leaving any kind of a gap between them, so as it get expand, it will get bent. Okay, so there is a chances of the accident. That's why they always leave a small gap between the two parallel rails, and when the rails and when there is a hot weather, then it expands and they get joined together. So these were the examples of the expansion of the solid, liquid and gas due to heat. Okay, due to providing heat to it. Now we will talk about the contraction. That is the contraction of the solid, liquid and gases. Okay, so if you see in case of a solid, what happen if we hold a very hot glass tumbler under a cold water, then you see it cracks. Okay, and it is because of the outer surface of the glass comes in a direct contact with the cold water, and they contract more as compared to that of the inner surface. You see, when you take a glass and if it is a very hot, and when you put a cold water on it, it get cracked, and it is basically due to the contraction of the upper layer. Okay, upper surface of the glass. Now if you see the another example of the contraction, so you see in case of a liquid. So in case of a liquid, we observe that water, they expand on heating. So what will happen if the water is allowed to cool down and then pour back into the glass? So would it will be slow overflow? No, it is due to because of the contraction. So when you provide a heat to a liquid, it get expanded, and if you try to pour that particular amount of a liquid in the another glass, then it will overflow due to the expansion of the particles of the liquid. But in the same liquid, if you provide a cold temperature to it or cool it, and then you again pour that glass of a water to the another glass, so it will not overflow. It is because of the contraction of the particles due to cold. Okay, now in case of a gases, so before that we had discussed that if we inflate a balloon, then it will expand. Okay, but if an inflated balloon is tied at the mouth of the bottle and the bottle is placed in a ice cold, if suppose a ice cold is there, ice cold water is present here, and we had taken a bottle, and in the mouth of the bottle there is a balloon. Okay, so what will happen after that? The balloon will shrink in the size. Okay, because the air inside the balloon, it contracts on cooling. Okay, so these are the examples of the contraction and the expansion in case of a solid, liquid and the gases. Although there are a lot of application of the expansion and contraction, like like that of the jammed metal lid of jam. So the metal lid of a jam, if it is jammed, then it can be opened by heating only. So the jar is inverted and just the lid is dipped in the hot water. After some time you will see that the lid can be opened easily. It is because when you provide a heat to the lid of the jam bottle, then you will see that metal lid, it get expanded, and due to expansion it can be opened easily. Okay. One more example, that is thermometer. So in case of a thermometer, the material it expand on heating, and the material which is present in thermometer is actually mercury. So what happened when the bulb is what? Bulb is the outer portion of that of the thermometer, which is kept in the mouth, or which is kept in between that of the lips. So you see, this bulb of the thermometer, when it comes in a contact with a hot object, then what happens? The mercury, it expands. Why is it so? Just because of the body temperature. So as it expands, the level it rises, it get expand and it rises up in the glass tube, which help in finding the body temperature of the person. So this expansion and this contraction is very helpful to understand the temperature of a substance. Okay, so these are the applications of the expansion and that of the contraction. Now see here, the expansion on heating, it is also a kind of a reversible change. Why is it so? Because if suppose you heat an object, there is an increase in the size. Why is it so? Because there is an expansion. So due to expansion, there is an increase in size also. And the increase in the size on heating is called expansion. And as you lower the temperature, or then it becomes cold, and due to cold there is a decrease in the size again, and that decrease in size is called the contraction. Okay, so an expanded substance can be contracted again, and due to which we can say the expansion is a reversible change. Okay, so the reversible change of this expansion is used in a lot of things that we had discussed, but right now we will see the two things, that is in fixing an iron rim on the wooden wheel of a cart, as well as in fixing the iron blade of a digging tool to that of the wooden handle. Now see here, fixing of iron rim to the that of the wooden wheel. This is the rim which is to be placed on that of the wooden wheel. So you see that this wooden wheel is placed in that of the bullock cart, or that of the tangas. So the iron rim which is fitted around that of the wooden wheel, how it is related to that of the expansion of heating? So see, the size of this iron rim which is to be placed in that of the wooden wheel, it is always remain the small. Okay, it is because of the expansion on heating, it get expanded so that it will easily put around that of the wooden wheel. See here, the wooden wheel of the bullock cart and that of the horse cart have an iron rim which is around it, and the iron rim are fitted around the wheel by the process of the expansion of the heating. So basically this iron rim is made slightly smaller than that of the wooden wheel. It is because as the iron rim get the heat, or it is heated uniformly by making fire, so due to heat it get expanded, and as it get expanded it becomes somewhat bigger in size before that of the smaller size, in that size in which it was made. So being bigger in size, that hot iron rim is easily put around that of the wooden wheel. Okay, so this is an application of a expansion of the heating, in which we take a wooden wheel which will be smaller than that of the iron rim, which will be smaller than that of the wooden wheel, and after expansion it will comes to the size of that of the wooden wheel. Now see, that was an example of expansion. If you see the contraction, then when we pour a cold water over that of the hot rim to cool it, on cooling this hot iron rim it contracts, and as it contracts it fixes with that of the wooden wheel very tightly. So you see, at first it was made in a smaller size, okay, and when smaller size, and when by the process was going on in which that it was preparing, so when you give a heat to it, while making that of the wooden wheel, so you see here, then because of that it get expanded, and as it get expanded, now it will be easy for the producer or for us to keep it, or to keep it on that of the wooden wheel, or put it around that of the wooden wheel. So after that, when you pour a cold water on that of the iron rim, again it will get contracted, and again it will gain its own size, and due to which it firmly held, it was having the smaller in size, so it will firmly attach with that of the wooden wheel. Now we will come to the second application of the expansion of heating, and that of the contraction of cooling. Okay, so before that we had discussed about the iron rim, which which is placed over that of the wooden wheel. Now we will talk about the iron blade of a digging tool to a wooden handle. So iron blade of a digging tool is also called as a spade, okay, which is like a spade, and this spade is to be fixed with that of the wooden handle, which makes it a digging tool, so that it will be helpful in digging that of the ground or field. Okay, so this spade is fixed with that of the wooden handle. Okay, so what is there in this one? This iron blade of a digging tool, which is a like of a spade, it is fixed with the wooden handle, and it is basically the fixing of the this spade with that of the wooden handle. It is placed on the basis of the it is based on the process of a expansion of heating. So see here, the iron blade of the spade has a ring in which the wooden handle is to be fixed. So the iron ring, there is an iron ring which is helpful in fixing that of the spade to that of the wooden handle. So this iron ring, which help in fixing that of the wooden handle to the spade, is made slightly smaller, as like that of the iron rim of the wooden wheel. Okay, so it is made smaller in size, and as while making that of the handle, when this blade of the spade is heated over the fire, then what happened on heating, due to which this iron ring it get expanded. Okay, and due to expansion,
it increases the sizes, it becomes slightly bigger in size as compared its original size. And when you see that with this increase in the size help in fixing that of the this of the iron ring to that of the wooden handle easily. Okay, so one end of the wooden handle now easily passes through that of the hot ring. It is because of the expansion of the that of the iron ring. Okay, hot ring. So as it get inside that of the wooden handle, now what we have to do, we have to fix the spade to that of the wooden handle tightly. So what we will do, now we will pour a cold water on that of the hot ring of the spade blade, so that the iron ring which holding that of the spade to the wooden handle, it cools down. Okay, and as it cools down, or on cooling, you know that what happened, there is a contraction which is just opposite to that of the heating, which shows the expansion. Okay, so on heating it contracts, and due to which you say that the hot ring of the spade blade, it also contract, and as it contract, it becomes smaller in size, it regains its original size, which was smaller as compared to the size which get expanded on heating. Okay, so as we pour the cold water on the hot ring, the spade blade, it contracts, it becomes smaller in size, and as it becomes smaller in size, so it will fix with the that of the wooden handle tightly. So this will make us the spade to get tightly fixed with that of the wooden handle. As the ring, it becomes smaller in size, so it will firmly attach with the wooden handle, and making the spade fixes tightly with that of the wooden handle. Okay, so these are some of the applications that is given in the NCERT book, which is related to the expansion and contraction of the heating. And you know, this expansion and the contraction, it's a reversible chain, and due to which a lot of a thing that can be prepared.